Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, one and all, to a slightly late uh,
I'm cutting it by the skin of our
April
teeth, aren't we?
community show. I think, what's it? Is it the last day of the month today?
Yeah, it's the last day of the month. Yeah,
So Rob is like, oh, for fuck's sake, I got to get this out today.
yeah, it's the first thing I'm going to do. It's not. I've also got a Patreon painting tutorial that's going to go out today. So I've been frantically painting since like 7 this morning to get that done. Um, yeah,
Well, I am feeling a little under the weather, so I apologize if I fucking fall asleep or start coughing or run off to shit myself. Like just generally feeling like crap for the last couple of days. I think just because I literally haven't stopped for about 3 months. That finally I had, like, yesterday was like my first proper day of I have nothing to do, and then I got ill, which is usually the way when you finally
yep,
kind of stop,
sure is.
and I'm like, yeah, I get to do what I want. Oh no, I'm going to spend the day in bed. So yeah, but anyways, enough about wow me. Uh, we are going to be talking about news. Not that that's not a lot of
Not a
news.
lot of news to Heresy.
But we do have quite a few questions, and we have some list submissions, and we obviously have our Heresy Hammer models from the community. So let's get straight into it. So the UK event calendar. Don't forget, if you are running an event in the UK, we have the heresyhammer.co.uk website. You can go on there, fill out a form, and we will advertise your event for you. There's not a huge amount of events going on in May and June, is there? I mean, we were discussing this before. We've been a bit slack in promoting this lately because we've been so busy with just other stuff. And there are a lot of events that just go up and then immediately sell out. So I think there are a lot more events going on than would appear. It's just you have to be quick as soon as the tickets go up. A lot of events are just selling out, which is a good thing. But if you do have an event and you want to advertise it, like I say, go check out the website, and we'll stick it up there for you. But into the news, and there's just not really been a lot. I think Kerry was saying, how long did he say it had been since we had a new resin model? It was like
Uh,
15 months or something.
yeah, I think I don't know if that the Latara and Angron probably buck that trend because they did come out in recent
Uh,
months, but.
Although they
But
were showing like 10 years
yeah,
ago.
what I would say is I think Forge World, the resin kind of
Yeah.
studio arm has I think it's just gone. Like I think
Yeah.
it's just quietly been put to one side. They might do occasional
The
like
occasional model.
but I actually think it will be the occasional rather than anything new. I think it will be the occasional like because they redid Weathertop recently. They did that as a made to
Okay.
order. And Amon Hen, and those are both resin. So I assume they were just fired up the forges, dusted down the resin making machine,
Yeah.
and then produced them. So we might see that. But I think that idea of that kind of like, it's all been subsumed in the specialist design studio, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
idea of Forge World, I think, has just completely gone, and with the resin kind of arm of it, I think is gone as well. What I don't know is whether they're replenishing stocks of, say, like the Stormbird or the Thunderhawk. I can never see a Thunderhawk being like gone completely, but I think that the idea that we'll get anything new from Forge World, I think, is just
No, but I think, yeah, like
in resin.
90% of what they're producing, we're just going to get in plastic, aren't we? Like,
Yeah, I think
pretty
that's
much
it.
any
Yeah.
generic kind of model is going to be plastic. But we have had more pages from the Black Books.
The only thing I would say, just to add to that, is that from my understanding, resin production, although it costs us a lot of money to buy, from my understanding, is much cheaper than kind of tooling up a plastic, like making plastics, and you're able to do it much faster
Yeah.
as well. I don't know. I assume it's more labor intensive because of the kind of like just how it works, but I could be totally wrong about that. What I would say is that I always think it's a little bit of a risk when a big company gets rid of kind of like its experimental like wing of
Yeah,
um of any studio or any kind of like experimental wing of their design, because what Forge World did 15 years ago with the resin was basically blaze the trail, with like Mark 4 armor, Mark 5 armor, and that they
yeah. Well,
blazed
all
that
of it.
trail
Two, three.
literally, and now
Yeah,
we have that in plastic. All I would say is that if you don't have people taking risks and doing like crazy things that can kind of like quickly be made up in resin, what will like 15 years look like? Like what, like, because the Horus Heresy and Specialist Designs, I think, were built on what the Forge Your Studio did 15 years ago, 20
yeah.
years ago.
100%,
So I think it's a
100%.
little bit of
Yeah,
a risk to get rid of that completely or get rid of that kind of like that aspect of resin design, because I think it just means that perhaps you're not able to be as creative. It's like a research and development unit, I guess, is what
yeah,
I would
yeah, yeah.
say.
It's
So I think that it's risk, but I think that if a representative from Games Workshop were here, they would say, "Look, we've got the specialist design studio that basically fulfills that role." I just think that we saw some cool and imaginative stuff from Forge World, which I think that we may never see its like kind of again. Like I don't know, like
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree
does that make
totally.
sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, you look at the design aesthetic that has bled from Forge World. I mean, you look at the 40k Plague Marines. They're all in Mark III armor.
yeah,
The Mark III armor came from Forge World. The
yeah,
resin Mark III, even just the way they painted models has
yeah,
bled. I know if you look at the heresy kind of aesthetic has gone from GW, but they still have that kind of a little bit of battle damage,
yeah,
and that
100%.
has bled into 40k models. That you'll
Yeah.
see a model and you're like, oh, they've done a bit of chip in there or there. That's all come from what was Forge World. But like you say, I mean, the whole heresy wouldn't exist
No,
if
no.
it wasn't for
What
Alan
alarm
Bly
and what
and
I guess alarms me is that like that resin production I assume is quite a quick process, whereas the plastic production is quite slow. Again,
yeah,
if I'm incorrect about that, then please let us know in the comments. And so it does worry me, like what will 15 years time look like, because those, as I say, those guys
yeah,
created those
okay.
ideas that we now are kind of, but because they were able to design things in resin. Yeah, but I
I
don't know.
I
A
I
representative
seem
from
to
Games
have
Workshop might say, look, no, we've got a long-term strategy here, and that an
yeah.
experimental, the experimental wing of Games Workshop is the specialist design studio. So
Yeah, I could be totally wrong here, but I seem to remember someone telling me about the problem with resin is kind of like the waste and all the
yeah,
toxic shit
yeah,
that then
yeah,
the government
yeah.
makes it harder and harder to do things like I could be totally wrong with
I
that, but I
had heard
think
that,
that
and I think that was in their financial report, which was like they're
right,
trying to correspond
okay,
with EU regulations on resin, and that
yeah,
basically just means it's impossible. But what I would say is that so, does that mean, because that can't mean that the creation of a Thunderhawk is going to disappear, because they'll always have the Thunderhawk unless it comes out in
yeah,
plastic.
unless it
Like
comes out in
it
plastic,
would be
which wouldn't
crazy.
surprise me. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
no, no.
surprised to see a plastic, like, if you asked me 10 years ago, I'd be like, fuck off. But if you ask
Yeah,
me now, I'm like, well, why not?
yeah.
Like, it's the way everything's kind of going. I mean, I dread to think how many pieces of plastic
Oh gosh, yeah.
Thunderhawk would
Yeah,
be.
it's funny. Although the Fellblade is like a dream to
Oh,
build,
is
and
it?
I
Oh,
and
well,
I would have said that
maybe.
that's a nightmare. I think the Fellblade's easier than the Sakaran actually, like to
Oh,
build.
okay. Is it
Yeah.
easier than a Saturnine Terminator?
The Fellblade's easier than a Saturn Terminator. Yeah. It's got about equal amount of pieces in it. Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, I agree totally. I feel like GW is a big company and they act like a big company, don't they? Like to
Yeah,
streamline and
yeah,
no
yeah,
department talks to each other and
yeah,
they make it harder and harder to actually be successful. But you need people just whose job are just to fuck about
yeah.
and have a
The
go at
nerds,
things
the
and
real nerds in the basement,
yeah, and
below
just
the
let them
nerds
go.
above. Yeah,
Let them go nuts. But talking about Forge World, they are
yeah,
still releasing pages from the Black Books.
yeah,
I mean, we've talked about this numerous times. I think this is awesome, especially for people who never had access to the Black Books, because I think you can buy them on eBay now for about £10 million.
yeah.
but like just the best lore. Like if you haven't read any of this, just go and read it. It's just the best lore. It's so good.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, but that's
Cool.
kind of
Yeah,
go
I think I get the general sense that there's not much to show at this moment in time, probably until like a Christmas release or
No,
something.
it's
And you
all
know,
the
this is
build up
just
for
the
40K, isn't
yeah,
it?
which
Which
is
is fair
totally fine.
enough.
We had
Yeah,
our build up, you know,
yeah,
months and months of build up. I just think that it feels like I think they're great. Just feels like it's just everything's sort of like ticking over. I think is
yeah, 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 yeah. And we knew about the Battle of Talon Part One.
part. We're getting so many part ones at the moment, but no part
I've
twos.
yet to see a Part Two.
Yeah.
Interesting that. So we knew the Battle of Talon was coming, but they gave us a bit more information about what was going to be in the book. Obviously, it's about the Iron Warriors invasion of Talon, but it talks here. I'm just trying to read through. So there's a new legendary mission that pits a squadron of Iron Warriors vehicles against a crushing ambush from Talon resistance fighters, which I like the sound
Yeah,
of.
if you're not familiar with legendary missions, I mean, me and Lee just reviewed the most recent Mailed Fist one, but basically you reenact a mission from the book. That is
Yeah.
essentially a mission
So
from like that campaign or whatever.
there will be a story in this book that involves an Iron Warriors
Yes.
squadron protecting itself
They
from
now
a
follow.
Talon
They're quite formulaic in
ambush.
terms of these campaign books now. Three stories, one of which is a
But
legendary
I
mission.
like it. I mean, we're
Yeah,
joking, but I think it's great.
you know
Like
what to expect. Yeah, yeah,
you have a story, and then you get to play a mission off that story. I think it's
yeah.
fucking
And it
awesome
must be
if the
it must be
story's good.
straight. I like it because it's formulaic. It must be straightforward for the
Yeah, yeah.
writing team to be like, right, you know, this is what I'm going to work on today, and this is this is what these journals look like, etc., etc. So yeah, I do like it. Yeah.
And then the last paragraph. I'm just going to read this to be honest. This book also includes a new mission pack for armored spearhead engagements, which are designed to work with armies packed to the brim with tanks and armored
Mm,
vehicles. So that sounds a little bit like what we saw, and my copy has finally arrived, only
bizarre.
fucking 3 months after. I don't know where I put it now. But yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I like the idea of more kind of missions with
Yeah,
tanks,
and again, if you're not
vehicles.
seeing the previous show, basically there was a thing called armored dominance,
That's I yeah.
which was able to control sectors, and one side was able to kind of control sectors, and the other side was kind of hunting for objectives. So the armored dominance, basically, you added up how many hull points that you had within a certain sector, and if it beat your opponent, you control that sector and you got VPs, and if you're a super heavy, you got additional VPs as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not kind of like it still remains armor dominance, and then that is the thing that trickles through kind of like
I
all these
hope so.
journals.
I kind of
Yeah,
hope so. I don't like it when there's just like a million rules for a million different
yeah,
missions. I would
no, yeah,
like
armor
some
dominance would be
consistency.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%, yeah, yep, yep.
And then we're also going to get rules for a Dracosan command tank and a Spartan Prometheus command tank.
Yeah, I was a bit confused about this because I just thought the Spartan Prometheus was the version with the flamers and the heavy bolters.
No,
Um,
me and Dan had this conversation. So
right,
it is in the old Imperial Armor book. It
right,
was called the Land Raider Prometheus,
right,
and it's fuck all to do with flamers. It's a
right,
command tank.
right.
So
Okay,
they've basically copied it from the old Imperial Armor book, which
okay.
I am not mad at, but
You
it
know
is.
what? I don't think I've said this on the show yet. I think I may have said it to you guys off air. But what I want is for units inside that command tank to be able to use their special abilities. So, like a Master of Signals
Oh,
in the tank can use his special ability without popping his head
yeah,
out.
yeah, I
Like,
like that.
because you just like at the moment it's like, oh man, like my Master of Signals has to sit behind this rock at the back because he has to be on the board in order to be able to use his abilities, right?
Yeah,
Whereas
interesting.
like if he's in a do you know what I mean? Like if he's in a
Yeah, yeah,
tank,
yeah.
there must be computers in said
I
STC
see.
design.
Yeah, I would like something like that. I would like. This is just me fucking wish listing here,
Yeah.
but I would like something like that. But you had like a choice of like two or three rules, and you could pick one. So you could have like a signals thing, and it's like that, or you could have something else, and it gets rid of
A
statuses
status or
or
something.
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But you have to pick one. You can't have them all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
depending on how you want to run your list depends on what you pick from that. But I
Yeah,
imagine it will not be any of them.
no.
I would guess like fuck it, I don't know. You can I don't know. I don't think we'll see any of that, to be
No.
honest.
Fingers crossed, but yeah.
But it's all pretty cool. And then we've got rules for the new Solar Auxilia Rapier carriers and the Ogrins, the
Caronite Ogren,
Charonite
Charonite,
Ogrins, which we already have rules for. They
yeah.
tend to just change the wording, but the Rapier carriers, they've got the new Mole Mortar, or whatever they called it, which we
Right.
haven't seen
Okay, cool.
before. So I imagine the new rules for that will be in there. So yeah, I'm as obviously as an Iron Warriors fan, pretty excited for this one. It'll be interesting to see what they do with these missions. Hopefully, like you say, they keep that armored dominance rule
Yeah.
and don't just start making stuff up. Because the trouble is, you end up with like 1,000 different missions that all have different rules, and then
Yeah.
there's no consistency, so no one ever really sticks to that thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what I mean. I think, I mean, this is without descending down a rabbit hole of kind of being grumpy. I do feel like this book would be a really good way to introduce kind of like command character, sort of like tank command characters. Now they would
Yes.
say, well, we've got those things in the form of like Decurions or whatever,
Yeah.
which you totally do. I just wonder whether actually like a character which doesn't just use a reaction, it might, for example, buff ballistic skill or
Yeah.
something along those lines would be also quite cool as well.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I would say is that perhaps a Spartan Prometheus command tech fills a command slot and it opens up its own detachment, a specialist detachment, which would be really
Ooh,
interesting.
yeah, that would be
Um,
cool.
because it's the and rather than kind of giving any in-game buffs, it's just like it sits in the command slot. It's still 400 points or whatever, but it unlocks this specific detachment, which has got like a light transport, and two armor tanks, and they're both prime or something along those lines.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty cool.
or units of Terminators that now have line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wish, you wish.
But that is it for the news. Not a lot going on.
No,
But like we say, obviously with fourth edition, fucking 40k 11th edition coming out, it was always going to be a little bit quiet. But we've
yeah,
got something. We're not going years without anything. So we're straight into our hashtag Heresy Hammer.
yeah,
And I'm loving this because up first we have two mighty Iron Warriors. On the right we've got Grant with a what do you call these? Fucking hell,
siege breakers.
siege breaker. A bit of a helmet swap there. I like it a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, what's not
cool.
to like?
Yeah,
Silver
man.
armor, hazard stripes, fucking glowing green grenades because he's just murdering Imperial fists. Yeah, done an awesome job.
Love it.
Is the base it comes with? I don't think it is
No,
it?
no, no. It's
No.
a that's a base topper who's used it.
Right, okay. Yeah, yeah, looks fucking awesome. I need to do a siege breaker, but I feel like I could just use my current Warsmith as a siege
Yeah,
breaker.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then Jack, I've been following Jack for a little while now. We were talking about some of his stuff on the WhatsApp group, weren't we?
Hmm.
These he's done three of these rhinos, and they look fucking insane. I love the metal grill behind the
Such a small
driver.
detail, and
It's
it's
fucking
like
great, and that
it's brilliant, and it works so well for like Death Guard or Iron Warriors.
it's
It would
so
never
Iron
have
Warriors.
occurred to me to
No,
just put because that's so simple to do. And if
like
also, I think this is a good example of where if somebody said to me, "I'm going to do a black door with a layer of hazard stripes and then a white transfer over the top," I'd be like, "It's
yes,
just too
yeah.
much. It's way too busy." And then he's done it, and it looks amazing.
Although
And yes,
I
brilliant.
kind of did that, and you never
Well,
said it
yeah,
looked
yeah,
good.
but yeah,
But no, mine was a lot plainer than this. I did hazard stripes and an arrow.
yeah.
But yeah, I like it. Looks great. Even like the yellow stripes. I wouldn't think to do yellow stripes on Iron Warriors. I tend
No,
to stick to like black stripes.
yeah. These are great. These are
It
really, really
looks
cool.
like just fucking awesome. Like
Yeah,
it makes me want to go and paint rhinos, which
Yeah,
is fucking rare.
yeah,
That's a
that's
that's a
great.
rarity.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Yeah, great job. Great job. And then we've got Liam with some Mark 6 Ultramarines. I fucking love these. You need to
Yep,
finish it and put it on a base.
yep.
Um, I love the it's the little things like the tactical marker on the leg rack. Obviously, you've
Mm,
only got one shoulder pad.
mm,
I just little things like that I really love.
mm.
Like I really, really appreciate just little details. Like,
Yeah,
oh fuck, getting ahead of myself. Like that. So yeah, this is looking awesome. Proper kind of battered rust streak ultramarine, avenging sun.
mm.
It's done a great job. And then we've got Chris. And this is fucking insane. Like that head is just
I don't know what it
like
is. It might
I
be
don't
the
know.
no. I tell you what I think it is. It's the resin head, but I think it's one with a top knot on it. I think it's kind of designed to be kind of like a Mongolian kind of head, and I think he's removed the top
Interesting.
knot because the eyes are so sunken and the jawbones are so prominent. I think it comes from that one.
Chris, let us know where that head is from. But
That's great.
I mean, it's the body looks like a
It's a Chaos
Chaos
Space
Space
Marine.
Marine,
Yeah, it's a Chaos Space
but
Marine.
then I'm guessing the chains across the chest have been added.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So he's added that on. Like
Well,
it's
saying I think so.
fucking
Definitely, they have. Yeah.
brilliant. Like, but that head
It's cool Reaver.
is
Yeah, really nice.
so good,
Yeah.
so good. And it goes to show that you can mix and match kind of
Yep.
40k models to make really good, 30k kind of late era 30k models. Like it just,
Absolutely.
yeah, looks fucking brilliant. But yeah, that head is just, you could take that head off that and put it on any Space Marine. It would look awesome. Like it
Looks so
just
good. Yeah.
looks so cool.
Yeah.
Love it. And then up next we've got Alistair. With a word bearer. I can't. What are these guys?
Marigal.
Marigal. I've got one of these sat in a box that I keep thinking I'm going to do something with and then never do. He's done an awesome job with this. I love the arm.
Mhm.
I don't know where it's from. I'm
It must
guessing
be
some
some kind of
40k,
40k tentacle
but
creature.
it
Yeah.
looks fucking brilliant. This is one of those models that I find people kind of love or hate. I've always liked this model, but some people found it a bit derpy.
Yeah, it's quite busy, I think, from the side.
Yeah, but I think, as long as you stick to kind of two or three main colors, I don't think it's too bad.
No.
But yeah, he's done a great job with this. I fucking love it. I love that arm. Looks so cool. Makes me want to do word bearers
Yeah, man.
again. And then McGreevy with a World Eater, although he looks, yeah, no, this is the old Mark III command,
Yeah.
I want to say, with some chains added across his torso. I don't think they were on the
You don't
original
see a lot of
model.
these. You don't see a lot of these kinds of models anymore, do you?
No,
This is what I mean about the experimentation that
yeah.
the resin was able to do. Kind of like they really
Well, you
blazed the
had
trail with
a
these
you
kinds
had
of models.
a command squad for every armor
Yeah,
mark, basically, didn't you?
yeah.
Or was this a command, or was this a Imperial Fist? I think
No,
this was the command, wasn't
this
it?
was the command. Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
the Imperial Fist was in Mark IV armor.
Right. Okay. But yeah, done an awesome job. Like I love these. The details added to the banner, like the chain, the skulls, the helmet on top look fucking great. But yeah, just put it on a base,
Yeah, that's what.
finish it for us. Like we want to see this finished. I'd like to see how you're going to base this. To be fair, I would be tempted to raise it slightly because this is quite a small model nowadays, isn't it?
Mm,
The old resin Mark III.
yeah,
So I would love to see this on a kind of slightly raised with a load of skulls around the bottom, just to give it that fucking World Eater corn vibe.
yeah.
But yeah, looks awesome. I love this. And I don't know. Oh, we've got more. Well, there's something about not finishing your fucking bases, isn't there? We got Robin with a. Is this the? This looks like the original Praetor
So this is a
Mark
Mark
Six,
II
was it?
Centurion. in
Oh,
Mark
is it?
Sisson's
Okay.
Terrain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
got some 3D printed shoulder pads, or they could actually be, I say that, they could actually be little Horus's shoulder pads maybe, and then a
Oh,
new breacher
interesting.
shield, and then a resin head for the old like Praetor, or I say old, the older Praetor, but not the oldest of the Sons of Horus Praetors.
Okay. This looks awesome. Like,
Thank
absolutely
you.
awesome. It just needs the base finishing. Finish your bases, people. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it a lot.
Great
I've
Praetor or Centurion or whatever it's going to be,
I
really.
could, yeah, anything really, isn't it? This would be a great Praetor, but be
Mm.
an awesome fucking hell, I can't think today. Champion.
Yep.
But yeah, I like it a lot. Like it a lot. And then we've got Anson with some Gal Vorbak. And
Yeah.
again, this is just fucking brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
This
he's a
is
great
so
painter.
good.
He's a great painter, yeah.
So good. Like these are models that have stood the test of time. I still think they're amazing. I'd love to see another set of five just so you can run them and not have to,
Well, you
cut
got the
them up.
40k ones now. Like the new
Oh, do
40k.
we? I have we?
Yeah, they've
Like,
got
okay.
like Chaos Space Marine Possessed that came
Oh,
out
okay.
a few years back, along with the new Chaos Space Marine line.
Are
And
they as good as these?
so there's some similar design language,
Right,
and I think
okay.
that they have been influenced by them. I don't think
Right.
they are. Uh, I mean, there are like with all squads of five in 40k, some are absolutely brilliant, and then there's one or two
Yeah,
who are just a bit like, no, this is
bit
just not so
derpy.
good. Yeah, a
Okay.
bit
But that
derpy.
is the only trouble with the Galvorback is if you want to run more than five, they
You got the
start
same
looking
poses,
very
right? Yeah,
similar. But
yeah,
yeah, done an awesome job here. Absolutely awesome. I love the purple flesh.
yeah. It's great.
Like, yeah, really good. Really good. And then we have Alexandru with
Man,
his
this
Iron
is
Words.
this is really good. Like
Like,
this is really inspirational there
yeah, yeah,
because I think that in because you've got to have the vision to be able to create this. So this is
yeah.
so I mean the guys listening on Spotify can't see it. So basically like just
Oh,
come on Spotify for a bit and watch this on YouTube. But
yeah.
essentially you've got a command squad of a sort, maybe like a Praetor in there that is all created from the Huron Blackheart kind of range. So we've got the librarian that's
Yeah.
been converted into a word bearer. We've got an apothecary that's got kind of like hazard stripes all over him. We've got a champion with a jump pack, and then we've got what I assume is a praetor, just with a few kind of like Iron Warriors changes and things like that. But he has done a brilliant job of converting these models, and I think this is probably the best kind of like most coherent kind of like set of conversions that I've seen, taking a 40k box and then just converting into the Horus Heresy.
Interesting,
I did a
interesting.
World
Yeah.
Eaters kind of like Huron version, and then I did like the champion just as a Night Lord. But this is brilliant. Like it just fits the whole aesthetic and really shows, I think, that like with the potential that 40k kind of newer models have nowadays of being able to convert them to the Horus Heresy, especially like late
Yeah.
stage Horus Heresy. Like people could use these and it'd be totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
I think that there's sometimes we have a bit of a reputation, particularly if you're new to the game, like, oh, Horus Heresy people, they only like Horus Heresy models. That's not the case at all. And this is a great example of where the smashing of 40k and 30k bits just makes for amazing models.
Yeah, yeah, agreed totally. Because like the guy, the jump pack guy on the left, that I
Yeah.
think that's technically Mark 7 armor, but
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
just looks like Mark 5, doesn't it? It just looks
Usually,
like
who
it.
cares? All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it
Like,
looks
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. When it's painted that well and converted like that, it's just like, who
No one
cares
gives
if
a
it's in
fuck.
Mark
Yeah,
7
yeah,
armor,
yeah,
right? It
yeah.
just looks cool.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, this because I've been umming and ahhing about what to do next, and I've been looking at the Red Corsair models.
Yeah.
Because I want to do some more veterans, but I don't
Yeah.
want to keep using Tortuga Bay miniatures.
Yeah.
I would like to have an army that I can actually take to a Warhammer World event.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so I'm a bit like, well, how do I do that? And I was looking at the Red Corsair models. I think the only trouble with the Red Corsair models is you get five, and then you have to,
Yeah.
like it's five poses. So it's how much can you do with those five? But
Yeah.
I think you can. I think you can. It just takes a bit of time and
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like this is absolute pure motivation. Like these look so fucking good,
Yeah.
so good. Like
I'd love to do some kind of
that's
like challenge in the future,
oh
where we say to people, we would, you know, take a 40K box and then convert it into a 30K thing. Like, and this is just like such a good example of like what can be done.
yeah. I think do I accept that challenge? I mean, I just think yeah. Like as long as you put some effort in and
Yeah.
don't just. I mean, I've seen people bring what do you call them? The Space Marines, the big Space Marines.
You
I
mean
can't think
Primaris?
Primaris Marines to 30K events. And it's just a bit like it's just like not to sound like that sweaty beardy nerd, but for me that's immersion breaking because you haven't done anything. You've literally just painted a load of Primaris Marines up as a legion and brought them along.
Yeah.
Like each to their own, whatever. Like if you like that, then that's fine. But for me personally, that's not my bag. But if you'd like clipped all the knee pads off and done something to try and convert them so they didn't just look like a bunch of changed the fucking helmets,
Hmm.
changed the backpacks. There's a lot changed the fucking guns that don't exist in Heresy.
Hmm.
There's a lot of things you can do that all of a sudden people are like, well, actually, that goes from being ugh to holy shit, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of play. I'm probably just gonna buy a box of those red Corsairs and
See what we can
see what
do.
I can come up
Yeah,
with, to
man.
be honest.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely my motivation for that because yeah, they look fuck. It's so good, so good. Yeah, I love it. Right, that's it for Heresy Hammer. Do we have a break here, or should we do a break after the
Yeah, no, let's have
questions?
a
Do
quick
we have a
break and
break?
then
We'll have a quick
yeah.
break, and then we'll come back for questions.
Nice. Heresy Hammer is proudly sponsored by BANDUA Wargames. BANDUA Wargames is a wargaming retailer based in Spain. Their stock is vast and covers every game imaginable, but most importantly, it also covers the Horus Heresy. They also create high quality MDF terrain for wargaming. This includes sets for frontline wargaming, as well as battles set within the confines of a battle barge. We have been using their Zone Mortalis set at Heresy Hammer HQ, and we are absolutely loving it. It's modular, high quality, robust, and easy to store. They also offer a range of accessories for Heresy Gaming as well. Heresy Hammer patrons receive a 10% discount on all their own brand terrain accessories and mats. Make sure you check out BANDUA Wargames today via their website, banduawargames.com.
Right, hopefully you enjoyed that short ad break. We're on to questions from the community. We did it slightly different this time. We put
Yeah,
the
well, I
questions
think not
out.
only did we do it slightly differently, but we'll do it that way for all of time
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
amount of
yeah,
questions that we got is
yeah.
probably,
So we
yeah.
put it out on our Patreon, and so all the replies were from our Patreon subscribers. Not because we want to make it hard for people who aren't patrons to ask questions, but it's just an easier way to collate it all, and we got loads of responses. So if you aren't a patron and you have a question, then just email us heresyhammer30k@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll just be doing this. So if you do have a question and you are not a Patreon member, just email us the question and we will answer it. But James asks, do destroyers have a home in third edition with the changes to rad grenades that are now ranged weapons and lack of firing protocols? It's a choice of grenades versus pistols in the shooting phase. Further deep strike changes, heavy assault slots being contested by Terminator units. He says, I love them and am running a 15-man Dark Sons of Death squad simply because it's fun, but it's hard to find a spot for them in current lists. Also, have not played against them more than a couple of times this
Mm.
edition. And it's interesting, I haven't seen them at all.
I've seen them a couple of times at events,
Have
but
you?
people have done them, right? Not because they're game changing, but people have done them to just be like, I just think
They're
they look
cool.
fucking cool.
Yeah, they're
And
cool.
I just
Yeah,
wanted a different
yeah,
modeling
yeah,
challenge. Like Anson, who we
yeah.
just featured earlier, he brought a squad. I think he brought a Moritat and maybe a 5-man squad of destroyers from memory. But I've been inceptive because I've seen his 5-man destroyer squad recently online anyway,
Right.
and it's made out of like Mark II with Ashen Circle shoulder pads and kind of bits, and then
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They're like in grey, and then they've got the red shoulder pads, and they're his. I don't know if they're the Ashen Circle
I think
or
he's running
they're
them as
just
Ashen
destroyers,
Circle, though,
right?
isn't he? Which are
But even then, which are
essentially
basically
Word-bearer
destroyers, right?
destroyers.
But
Yeah.
um, I think they're not massively game breaking. We'll get into this in a second, but I think for lots of people, they just love that idea of like cowboy sort of revolver wielding
Yeah,
two
yeah,
dual
yeah,
pistol kind of
yeah.
like
I
guys.
yeah, it's funny, isn't it? So, I mean, we talked a bit about this off camera. Like, I ran Iron Warriors Destroyer Squad in first edition, and I fucking loved them. And for years, I asked for like, oh, I just want to be able to run a destroyer company. Like, I just want to be able to run destroyers as my army. Like, that it would look so fucking cool. And now, essentially, I can. Like, there's nothing stopping me from running an entire destroyer company. And the only reason I don't is because destroyers are in legacy. And I don't want to put all that time and effort into building squads that potentially, when we get fourth edition, no longer exist. Like, that's just, I don't have the time to put that much effort into models that could potentially not be here when we get a new edition. So for me personally, that is the biggest reason I will not run destroyers, because I think they're fucking cool. We can talk a little bit about the rules. I think rules wise, they do have play.
Mm.
I think there are better options, but I still think they have a place, namely murdering tactical squads with
Mm.
fucking rad and phosphex and fire.
Mm.
But the biggest turn off for me is the fact that they're a legacies unit, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going to happen with them. If they
How deep do you go down into the rabbit hole
and
with the
that's it.
legacies? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, if they produced a journal and it had a load of destroyer squads in it, I'd be, yes, I'm in, because I know they're not going away. But as it stands, like, I would be surprised if they weren't in a legacies unit when we get fourth edition. But it is a risk I am not willing to take personally. Uh, like, that's just my thoughts on it.
That's as a whole army though, isn't it? You're not
But
saying I won't do like a 5-man squad in
no,
the
I
future at some
I
point.
honestly, if I look and I'm like, well, we've got a veteran assault squad that I can do and it's in the rules, or I could
Mm.
do a destroyer squad and it's in legacies, I would do a veteran assault squad because I'm
You don't hold
99% certain.
how much hope in the future for the existence of a destroyer.
I would be surprised if they got rid of them, but
Mm.
I would also. I'm 50-50. Like, I think at some point they're just going to start getting rid of some of these legacies units.
Mm.
But I mean,
Well,
second
I mean, they
edition, they
wanted
weren't
to,
even
right? I mean,
legacies.
yeah.
Like, I don't really know why they got rid of them. Do they still sell the models for them?
I assume so. I assume so. But they're
Like,
resin, right? I mean, we've had a
but
whole
they're
conversation
resin.
about this
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So,
But yeah, for me, it's just I get fuck all time to hobby. So I'm not willing to risk building units that could potentially not be here whenever we get a fourth edition.
okay. Well,
But yeah, that's
let's assume that James does have the time for hobby, and he doesn't mind creating a unit. So destroyers, and their place in third. So we had a quick gander at the rules, on this one, and I think that my opinion is that I would use them because they've got Firestorm, they've got Vanguard 2. They're obviously dual wielding bolt pistols, and those bolt pistols can be replaced with Volkite pistols, Volkite Spencers, and hand flamers. And then they can and do have quite a lot of options as well. So, the Phosphates bomb being the most intriguing and most interesting one is the
yes.
obvious one. I think for me, they do have a place, but what I would always say when you put them in your list, I think that you always need to say to yourself, these will probably not turn the tide of a game for me in the way that a 10-man Fire Drake squad in a Spartan would. However, There will be games where they will pull it out the bag for me, and they will be useful, and they'll get me a couple of Vanguard points, and they'll kill a tactical squad at a crucial crunch moment. But that won't
Mm.
always be consistent, I think, in every single game. So as long as you're willing to kind of say to yourself, okay, sometimes these will do well. I think that, but sometimes they probably would just get shot off the board on an intercept. I
Yeah.
think that's fine. I think for me, I would probably always go down the route of the jump pack, the jump pack option, and I'd probably just stick with the five-man squad, and I would deep strike those, and you keep them relatively cheap. I wouldn't kind of like put close combat weapons on them. I would 100% every single time upgrade to a phosphex bomb, because I think you just see the four other guys in that unit as a defense mechanisms for protecting your sergeant with a phosphex bomb, and you deep strike next to a tactical squad that's on an objective, perhaps in a hard to reach place, and you weather the intercepts. If people are willing to suck up, to expend a intercept, you suck that up, and then you've kept your sergeant alive, lob a phosphex bomb in there, hopefully a wound, and then that's a panic 3 check, and they're not scoring. I think that you could do an awful lot of stuff as well with the hand flamers. I think that because deep strike there's no scatter, you're basically can just deep strike within 1 inch, and you kind of like, yeah, I'm good to go, lob a phosphex bomb in and then hit them with flamers, or vice versa. I think that the flamers are only strength 3 and they don't cause any panic. That's fine because that's covered with a phosphex bomb, but the amount of hits that you will get from 5 guys with dual hand flamers on a tac squad will be, I don't know. Just off the top of my head, I can imagine it would be like around 50,
10
right?
million.
Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a lot. And I think that, in that situation, I'd be pretty amazed if a 10-man tac squad is able to survive that, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Bob's your uncle, you got the Vanguard point. So that's the benefit they have. They can deep strike, and because they deep strike within the reserve sub phase, your opponent can't move react from them either. Now, you might have to accept that, if that unit doesn't intercept, then they could return fire on you as well. And but that's perfect for a more attack squad. Sorry, for a destroyer squad. They're total suicidal maniacs. You're leaning into it. They're going in, lobbing phosphex in, and then getting themselves killed in the process. There's nothing more for me that defines the role of destroyers than
Yeah,
kind of getting killed in a suicide mission.
yeah,
So unaliving themselves in a suicide mission, I think is kind of like it is the name of the game. But I don't think you should spend more than 200 points on a unit. I think for 5, they're 100 points.
yeah.
110 for the phosphex bomb, plus 5 points each for the hand flamer. You only want
See,
four,
I
four
I
pairs of hand
feel
flamers.
like I feel like the rad missile is an auto include if you're
Yeah,
taking
so
hand flamers.
but isn't that like a 20 point, like,
No,
or
I think
15
it's like
point?
50, I think it's 15 points.
Yeah, okay. So if you want some more AP3 in there, then that
But
kind of it also makes
you're
sense.
taking those hand flamers from wounding on fives to wounding on fours.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
Like
it's
it's
AP3
just
as well,
because
and a
it's
small
phage
small blast.
toughness.
Yeah, yeah,
And they're all AP free. Like even the rad grenades, you have to get close to use the rad grenades,
yeah,
but they're AP free.
yeah,
I think these guys would absolutely murder tac squads.
yeah.
Like you say, I also think it's very easy for them to become extremely expensive
Yeah,
very quickly.
yeah. I mean, like, I suppose you could say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do a 10-man squad in a Rhino. Rhinos are fairly survivable, but I think the problem you've got in that scenario is because they've only got the survivability of attack marine themselves. That once you lose that unit, you're probably losing like 400 points. Sorry, for like 250 to 300 points plus the
Yeah,
Rhino as well. So
yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure it's worth kind of like massive investment. And
Because
as Lee said, like a 10-man squad, is that a big hobby investment for something that might not last for the next, that won't last beyond third edition? So that's always the risk as well.
don't get me wrong, if I had all the time in the world, I'd have an army of these because I think it's cool as fuck.
Mm.
Like, I just think that I wouldn't use the old resin ones because I think they're
Oh
teeny
no no
tiny
no
now.
no 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 no!
But
I'd use the Mark II assault marines, and then
but I like the helmets, like the old
oh yeah
destroyer
yeah
helmets. So
yeah
maybe 3D print them or something.
yeah
I think as a hobby project, they would look awesome. Like I would love to do an army of these. Like
yeah.
my fear is that I do an army of these. It takes me a year to build and paint, and then
Yeah.
like a couple of years' time, I
You know, it
can't
would
use
be
them
even
anymore.
better for this unit if they each could take dual disintegrators. Then we'd be talking. Woo! Oh, mama, dual disintegrator pistols, amazing.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. Oh, I'd love the hand flamers though. Oh, I do want to. I might do some. I've got a
Ah,
box of
look at
the.
this. You've but James,
Ah, they're
you've
so
incepted him.
fucking
You've
cool
incepted
though.
him. There
It
we go.
pisses me off so much because, like I say, this is an army I wanted to run forever. I was always
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, just make a Rite of War, a destroyer, Rite of War, and they never did. And now you can kind of, within reason, take what you want.
yeah. I think the other issue with a destroyer company, though, is that you might want lots of deep striking. Well, unfortunately, you can only deep strike one thing per turn, right?
Yeah,
So,
I'm
like,
not. If you're playing the terrain rules as they are intended, I think I'm. I feel like assault squads running up the board are a lot more survivable if you use the
yeah, I
terrain.
but I see. I to some extent I agree. I just think there's too much barrage in the game now. I think. I mean, there's always been too
Yeah,
much barrage in the game, but I think that the barrage is just like, you
yeah,
know,
but most of it's AP4. It's not just deleting squads each turn.
hmm,
Like there is.
hmm,
I get what you're saying.
hmm.
Just don't play Julian and his fucking bullshit reducers. But yeah, I think there's a place for them. Even just like 5-man squads, just with rad missiles, I think is a place. Just literally don't take anything else. Just a rad missile, just for the phage toughness. Because actually, for Marines, it's quite hard getting phage T weapons. It's more easily available in things like Mechanicum.
Yeah, 100%.
And if you've got some units that are going in to punch things or whatever, like being able to knock down a toughness of like a Terminator squad or something
Mm,
is fucking huge.
yeah,
So yeah, I think they've got play. I'm surprised we don't see more of them. I 100% believe that if these were in the main Libras and not the legacies, we would
we'll see
see
more.
a lot more of
Yeah.
them. But yeah, hopefully that's helped a little bit. So next question, Gamer Cadet asks, what would you say are the top 3 elite Terminator units in the game?
I mean, I can tell you my three, and they're totally different from your three, aren't they? Because we've always
Yeah,
consulted
I
on
mean,
this.
I've gone for what I like, not what is actually like. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, well, I've gone for
Apart from
basic rules.
one, apart from one.
Okay, well, I'm going to go for just Aaron.
Yeah.
But just because I think they've got Vanguard 4, the range of equipment that they're able to take is really vast. The number of attacks that they've got is just pretty incredible. So yeah, just Erin are pretty nails. Second one is the Aquilon Terminators, the Custodes Aquilon Terminators. So I know you probably meant Legions there, but I think they need to be mentioned because I suspect we'll get plastics at some point. And if you
Yeah.
are a Custodes player, I think you are probably playing with at least 6 of these guys. The T6, they're Eternal Warrior 1. You can make them now Eternal Warrior 2 with the Heteron upgrade as well, which is just, they are going to be a total menace if you're playing Custodian players. And they've all got like critical hit, solar right power gauntlets as well, right? And like a range of other weapons. They are absolutely horrendous. And the idea of them having Eternal Warrior 2 is just like, it's just horrible.
It's just bullshit.
Yeah, and they got 3 wounds
Absolute,
apiece as well. And then my final one
absolute
is
bullshit.
the Salamanders Fire Drakes. So they have got Vanguard 3 or Vanguard 4. They've obviously got their shields, their Draken Scale shields, which basically, like, from memory, it makes like all kinds of damage, like from las and plasma and stuff. Damage 1, I think. I need to double check that, and I will double check it while you're talking, Lee. And then you can't wound them on obviously ones, but you can't wound them on twos either. So they're very very
Yeah.
survivable.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've all come equipped like thunder hammers, and they're just, yeah. So for me, I think those are the three. If I see them across the table, I'm like, I'm in for a rough time.
Interesting.
Yeah. What are
Interesting.
your three?
So in no particular order, I would say the I can't remember what they're called now. Lernian Alpha
Okay.
Legion
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Terminators.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not so much from killing, but because they have more utility in
Yeah.
being line one.
And
Uh,
and
s-
and can take a conversion beamer as well, which is pretty cool.
yeah. So I just feel like line one is way better than Vanguard. So plus you can actually run an army of Terminators and they can actually hang with tax squads. So I like that. my next choice would be the Word Bearer's Anointed Conclave.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, that's
Um,
interesting. Yeah,
I
I
think
hadn't considered those at all.
from a rules point of view, they're amazing, but also from a hobby point of view, I think they are fucking brilliant. You
Yeah,
can stick, like demon arms on them and all sorts of
yeah.
shit.
And Eternal Warrior 1, right?
And Eternal Warrior 1, I mean, they have, I was just looking at it here, like the Warpfire Mantle, Eternal Warrior 1, a Flame 2,
Yeah, they're brilliant. Yeah, they're really good.
like, and they don't have any Vanguard, so they can still score full victory points for an objective.
Are they malefic
They
as well?
are, yes, they are
But they're
malefic,
only
yes.
losing
Yes,
they
yes,
can't be
yes.
status, but they are losing D3 runes on every time they're
Yeah,
status.
which is gonna hurt, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, I guess it
because with
is
those
if
guys, you
you
wouldn't want to
roll.
kill them. You just want to
No,
force statuses all the time on them. That's
yeah,
the yeah,
but yeah, I think they are great.
yeah.
And then the last one is obviously just Dominator Terminators because they're fucking
Oh
awesome.
mate, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Because
yeah. All good
they're Iron
options there.
Warriors and they're
Yeah,
fucking awesome. Um, and they hate robots, which I just love because they're just angry,
because you too
bitter.
hate robots. Yeah, okay,
Because I
nice,
do hate robots.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a
Great
lot of good
question.
choices.
That
There's a lot
Game
of
of
good
Cadet. That's a
choices, isn't there?
great
Yeah,
question. Yeah, great
yeah, yeah.
question.
I like it. So, Maxas, at what point does an
Oh man.
army become oppressive?
I can answer this easily, which is that you just lean into statuses. Like you purposefully status max your army. Looks maxing, Cavicula looks maxing. If anybody knows that absolute tool, um, basically you're status maxing,
I don't know what
and
that is. What is
yeah,
that?
okay. Well,
What
there'll
is...
be some people watching this who do know, but anyway,
Have you just insulted someone?
yes, yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay.
Not in the Warhammer world though.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
think like Louis Theroux Manosphere kind of
Oh,
person.
okay. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so I think if you status max and you are intentionally kind of going, I'm going to try and force as many status on my opponent for them to basically not be able to do anything. I think that's the
Yeah.
point. It becomes oppressive. I think
Yeah.
it's difficult that because I think if we had a Night Lords player here, they would say, "Hey, my
That's
whole
how my
Legion
army
rule is
works. Yeah.
basically,
Being
requires
oppressive.
me
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to put as many statuses on units as possible." And I think that that is a fair argument. So perhaps I would leave those out of the Night Lords out of the equation. But I think that it becomes tiresome when your command squad has to take 4 status checks and it's like it can't take an Uncio Vox. You're probably going to fail one. And it's like, oh, they can't really, they're pinned or whatever. I now can't move them
Yeah.
until the end. Do you know what I mean? I think that's
I
the
mean, you
kind of
know
thing
the
where,
answer to that, don't you?
take apothecary, mate.
Just run Iron Warriors and then
I mean,
you
that's the other
just
option, so
take it all as normal because you
yeah,
don't give a fuck.
yeah,
I think, yeah, anything that creates a negative play for your opponent is going to be oppressive. I think that the trouble comes when different people's lists play in different ways. So you might accidentally be oppressive against one person and then totally not against
Well, yeah,
another
I mean, a good
person.
example when if somebody were to play me and by Ultramarines, they might have it might be oppressive. If someone to play you and your Iron Warriors, it might not be oppressive at all
Yeah,
because you're just
yeah,
making it on
because
your
I'm just
leadership
doing
and
my
cool.
normal
Yeah,
leadership call
exactly. So yeah, it's
checks.
difficult. It's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is it. But I think, yeah, just look at what you're running, how you want your theme, how you want, how your army's going to work. If your army's working just purely off status in your opponent and they aren't going to be able to do anything, like that's fine. But just think, would I want to play against this? Like you can status things and not just status things 10 times.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Like you can make the fluffiest list in the world and actually it still be oppressive to someone.
Yeah, I think
Um,
also it's worth a mention on spam, I think.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
think, if you were to have 10 predators each with heavy conversion beamers or heavy conversion cannons, whatever they're called,
yeah,
that is not that many points. Like that's 1,300 points for 10
yeah,
predators with 10 conversion beamers. And then you've still got 1,700 points to go and like put into tactical marines or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Like that amount of firepower, because it's en masse, that also becomes oppressive as well. So I think that like maxing out on one particular unit or one type of unit, I think also become really oppressive, just because I don't think the game is really geared up for that kind of like just maxing out. And so my understanding is Warhammer 40k dealt with this by going the rule of three,
Yeah, the
which is you
rule of
only have
three.
you can only have three. I don't know if that's still in
Yeah,
place,
I
but I
think
think
so.
would make
Yeah,
a lot of sense for Horus Heresy,
yeah.
that you kind of just go, you maxed out at three with the exception of troops choices, and
But you
rhinos
could still
perhaps.
take 3 plasma contemptors,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah,
still going to be pretty
yeah,
oppressive.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but I mean, again, it's a valid point. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Like, at what point does an army become oppressive? I guess like it depends. It
yeah,
depends who you're playing against. You know what army they're taking, how good they
yeah.
are at playing. Like, there's so many
But
factors
I
into
think
what makes something
the
oppressive.
easiest way for me it's just spam and statuses. I think in this edition, the
Yeah,
two
I'd
S's,
agree. Yeah,
I think are
unless you're
the
Night
thing.
Lords,
Yeah,
and
of
then
course. Spam and status
press
away.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
So a different Max asks, I'm just really
Yeah.
struggling to enjoy list building. How do you counter analyst paralysis and
Yeah,
balance it with some fluff and not get your shit pushed in?
man.
And I'll be honest, I'm in a similar boat. Like, I come up with ideas and then I'm like, you know what? That's just gonna suck on the tabletop. Like, that's
Yeah.
just gonna do shit. Like, I do like we've moaned a little bit about this before, but I think without the old rights of war mixing things up, unfortunately, like this is just kind of part of third edition, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you and me have now reached a point where it's like, you know what? I don't really care if I get fucking beat. I just want
Well,
a fun
I mean,
army.
I've got things to say about my disintegrator list, but and
Are they filth? Are they
no, no,
absolute
no,
filth?
no. Well, and I'll talk about it in a second. I'm not saying that they're filth at all, but it's the most fun I've had
But
with
I have
this
crushed
list building.
everyone.
I've only
Oh,
played one
okay.
person. I've only played one
No, and I
person.
crushed him.
No, it wasn't crushing. It was a good game. It was a really good game, actually. Um,
Because yeah, I have never run tactical squads. Like, I have never had any, which is, unusual for an Iron Warriors player. Normally, they were the ones that ran all the tac squads. I'd rather do like a Terminator force, but I'm
yeah,
just like, a Terminator force, like a Cataphractic Terminator force, is probably just gonna be shit. Like, I'm gonna need 1,000 command choices to open up all the Terminator slots. There's so many things that goes into it. They're all Vanguard. They're all slow moving. I'm going to need tanks to put them in. Whereas before, I used to run Terminator squads, and they could hold the rear line objectives. Like, there's a lot of things that, unfortunately, with third edition, just yeah, it makes it hard to.
yeah.
I would say make fun lists. Like, that sounds pretty
Well, I'll
damning.
get okay. Well, so
Go
my
on,
my thoughts on this. So there's a couple of things, and I'll try and encapsulate them all in my 10-minute speech that I'm about to make
yeah,
now.
go
So
for it.
I think the first thing is that it's okay to have different armies that do different things, and it's this the same way I approach kind of like painting. It's okay that one is like in your arsenal, one is a tabletop painted army, and then one is like the best that you can do, and it's the same for list building. Like I would not have the same units in the same armies that I've got because that just gets a little bit boring. Like my Alpha
Yeah.
Legion looks completely different from my Ultramarines, and I try not to have any overlap on. I try not to have any overlap on units, with the exception of like Tat squads or whatever. With my Ultramarines, they're very jump pack heavy. With my Alpha Legions, I don't have any jump packs in. So,
Right.
and I think that if you start from that kind of like basis and you kind of say, look, I've got my Mechanicum where I know if I was going to a tournament, I could do really well. I might not win, but I might
Yeah.
I might be able to do really well. But this army, I'm purposely just creating for just the lols, right? And that's okay to do, and that's okay to say. And you just go, I'm going to create this army over the course, however many months, and I'll just take it to play my local mates who know just I want a bit of fun, or I'm just taking it to a couple of events because I know it's just going to be a bit silly. Which then leads me to this disintegrated list that I've come up with, and I suppose like with that list, so the idea is basically that I'm taking, the only units that I can take are those that are allowed to be equipped with disintegrators. And if you cannot take a disintegrator, then basically you're forced to not take any shooting weapons. So an example would be a veteran Vanguard unit, a 5-man squad. You can't take mass disintegrator pistols, sadly, but you can take 2 in a 5-man squad, 1 on the sergeant, and then 1 in every 5. So I've equipped like 2 guys with disintegrator pistols, thunderhammers, and then everybody else gets lightning claws because I can't put anything else in. Whereas I've done 2 heavy support squads with the underslung disintegrator and disintegrator blasters, um, because I can, and because they just look really cool. Now, when I used them the other day, they blew themselves up straight away. Like I lost four straight off the bat trying to shoot the back of a
They're
rhino.
basically orcs of 30k.
Literally that, but the thing is, I knew going into that game, if I was able to achieve anything beyond killing myself, that was a win for me anyway, and
Yeah,
is also
yeah.
and is also quite fun. I mean, like literally, like I think the first turn I lost like 6 wounds on a Saturnine dreadnought, like just like that is from myself. And I think that is, for me, that's been the most fun and actually the most complex of list building, because I've had to
Yeah,
really dig deep
interesting,
into
interesting.
the units to kind of go, well, what can take a disintegrator pistol? And also, like, there's me understanding the difference between a Legion pistol list and then the Legion officer list, because the Legion officer list is critical for me because that's where the disintegrators are. Whereas the Legion pistols, I can't take any Tech Marines at the moment. I can't take any bloody Forge Lords because they can't take
Oh,
disintegrators.
you
So
have really gone that far down the fucking
I've
rabbit
yeah.
hole.
So for me, like, I'm
Holy
like, okay, well, I
shit.
can only take a Forge Lord in Cataphracti or Tartarus armor because they can get access to a combi disintegrator because they're in Terminator armor. But I've got like my Forge Lord here with combi disintegrator, but
Oh
he's just
man.
walking like slowly behind
I,
my
th-
Saturnine,
I think
trying to fix it.
I
So
think this is your most autistic list
oh
yet,
man,
to be honest.
but it's been so much fun and such a struggle to try and fit it in. And I think that what has also been great about that experience for me is that I know that I'll lose as many guys myself from rolling
Yeah, yeah,
badly as
yeah,
my
yeah.
opponent will kill, and that's fine. But I also know nobody has created that list on the planet because nobody's insane enough to do it, because most people just don't use disintegrator lists.
Ah, you've
And I
got me
think with
thinking now.
and I
Yeah,
think with
yeah.
third edition, so it's interesting. Like, and again, we can have a conversation later. I have been pretty uninterested in competitive play with third edition, partly because I think it's just easy to spam and it's easy to status spam. And I think that for me, at least the first and second, the force organization chart actually constrains you a little bit. Now the kind of gloves are off to, as long as you have loads of line in there, really the gloves are off to kind of
Mm,
just spam to your heart's content, really.
yeah, yeah.
But I think for me, so now with third, I'm definitely more kind of like, you know what, I'm just going to do silly things. I'm going to get through my pile of shame and just do some silly stuff and make these my
Yeah,
tabletop armies.
you've got me thinking. You got me
So,
thinking.
so that I think for me is with that, and I still have to do analysis, and with the list building, because I really had to delve into what actual units can take disintegrator weapons because I've not
Yeah,
really
yeah.
come across them, and it's really, and for me it's like the Legion Champion is a brilliant choice in that situation because I can take a command squad and I can take an elite, so a veteran squad or a veteran heavy support squad, and both of those can take disintegrators. Like the Master of Descent is bloody brilliant because he can take the special detachment where you get 2 veteran assault squads and
Yes,
then a
yeah, yeah,
command
yeah.
squad. And then all of those things can take disintegrators as well. So that's been that for me. That's been, and I'm planning to do a video about this weekend actually to get it painted and get it all done and kind of talk more about that and the crafting
Mm.
of the list. But for me, that's been a lot of fun. But I think you just have to accept if you do want to do something a little bit out there, there'll be games where you just don't win. Now, I won with
Yeah.
my first. I used it the other day and I won. We played 2,500 points, but I won only because I was able to hammer Luke's units pretty hard. Like I killed a Leviathan, a
Right.
Contemptor, and a veteran squad. But those disintegrators are powerful, but the risk is that
They blow up in your
but they're
face.
powerful against yourself as well.
But
I
it's
mean,
interesting
that's
one,
the
isn't it?
thing.
Because you've got me thinking now, and the first question has me thinking
Yeah,
because I love the idea of like a cataphracti army. Like I just think that's the most Iron Warriors thing.
yeah,
But like my thought is, how do you counteract tac squads? Because you're not
yeah,
going to get to them because you're so fucking slow, and I'm not going to want
yeah,
to
yeah,
stick everything in Land Raiders.
yeah,
And you're going to be scoring fuck all. But this is where I'm like, well, actually, this is where you need to lean into your statuses.
yeah, yeah,
Like I can't outscore him with line because I
yeah,
don't have any.
yeah,
Maybe one or two masters of signal, something like
yeah.
that, to try and get some line. But yeah, that's where. But is that oppressive? Well, no, because all you're doing
Yeah,
is
so
bringing the
the
game
idea of
equal.
statuses are not oppressive. Like they're
No,
just an important part of this
because
edition.
yeah,
What is oppressive is if you've taken a 5-man veteran squad, for example. So this is a great example of just like status maxing, right?
okay, yeah, I know what you're gonna
One has
say.
got
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
combi
yeah,
grav, one's
yeah,
got a
yeah,
rotor
yeah,
cannon, one's got a
yeah,
flamer. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that
Heavy
kind of
flamer.
thing
Yeah, yeah.
is the kind of thing that you just go that unit is designed
You
solely
are
to shut.
status this, and this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like it's
yeah,
designed solely to shut down a unit. And I and my opponent know what they're doing. You know, we
yeah,
all know
yeah,
what
yeah,
they're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, is
I
to
mean, the
is
irony is, I played against this at my last event,
yeah,
the Dark Angels, all the verses each turn. And like you say, I'm Iron Warriors, so I didn't
yeah,
give a fuck. I don't think I
yeah,
failed a single
yeah,
single
yeah. It's interesting.
single test. But someone else would be like, ah, fucking hell, this sucks balls.
Yeah,
So yeah, I agree totally. But like I say, is it if I'm scoring no points because you're suppressing me, but you're scoring like 14, 15 objectives a turn, that's oppressive. If I'm scoring fuck all, but you are equally scoring fuck all because you
yeah,
have
yeah,
no line,
yeah,
it's not as
yeah,
frustrating, is it? I don't know. I
yeah,
guess like everyone will look at it differently.
yeah. I think
But it
so.
is interesting. You have got me thinking because
Yeah,
I keep playing around with how can I make Terminators work, and I'll be honest, I don't think I can.
mm,
But I've been looking at it wrong. It's not how do you make Terminators work. It's how do you stop your opponent's army from working,
yeah, yeah,
whilst your Terminators just don't really
yeah.
do a
Do
lot.
much.
Because
Yeah,
Vanguard, like on Cataphractic Terminators, I just think
so hard to get off.
it
So hard to
just
get off.
yeah, because you got such
Yeah,
small. Unless you're pumping hundreds of points into well, thousands into Spartans and a 10-man squad, and put a champion in, like it's just not gonna fucking. It's just not gonna do enough, is it?
no.
But it's an interesting one. But yeah, like you're not the only one struggling. I guess my advice would be like, just fuck it. If you lose, you lose. This I'd rather have fun losing
Yeah,
than not having fun winning, if that
that's a good
makes
way to
sense.
describe
So
it.
yeah.
I've had the most amount of fun I've had this edition just creating stupid
Just
disintegrator
mental
lists.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
although I mean, but there I am spamming. But I'm spamming, I think, to my detriment rather than I'm helping out my
Spamming
opponent, I think,
spamming
in
the
this.
worst weapon in the
Yeah,
edition.
I think so. Yeah. Anyway, well, let's get on to Cretan-born.
Yeah. So any tips on finding a nice middle ground with list building?
Yeah,
So we've kind of
yeah,
already
covered
mentioned
this one.
so something that can actually compete and give both
Yeah,
players a fun game, but without it feeling oppressive, or just taking meta choices.
yeah,
Most lists for me end up at one extreme or the other. Either it's very narrative and fluffy, but probably won't win any games,
yeah,
or it's more competitive but starts to feel a bit too whack.
yeah.
I find it hard to land where the list is solid, but would still be fun to play against for my opponent.
So this is for me a really good example of kind of going. So number one, you probably need to have it's difficult, more difficult at events. But if you're just playing with your friends, you just need to say, I would like a pretty chill list
Yeah.
today, like or a pretty chill game. I'm not really interested in utterly mercilessly crushing you. Like, what do you think we could do to just like have something that's pretty close? Like, do you want to discuss lists or do you want to, you know? So, for example. if you know Fred, your friend you play all the time, always brings a Spartan with 10 fire drakes, of course, the natural thing for you to do is then bring a Typhon because you're just like, well, that's going to be able to deal with them
Yeah, yeah,
relatively. So,
yeah.
yeah, relatively. But if you have that conversation that just goes, well, what kind of game are we looking to play? I think that helps. Like I had that with Tom the other day, where me and him were just like, should we just bring the stuff that we never bring because we just don't think it's good? And we did, and we had a great game, and we did a mission
Yeah, yeah.
from the Journal Tacticas, which by the way are so unbalanced. Some of those missions that it's impossible. You don't have a bit like a sour feeling in your mouth when you finish because it's just like they're so weighted against you.
So
Like there's no way to win. So
this was going to be my point. Like, you don't necessarily need to look at the list building to make a game more fun.
yeah,
Look at the missions. Like,
yeah,
if you're playing missions from the book
yeah,
that are all objective based,
yeah.
then your list building is going to be based around like
Mm,
objective holding and
mm.
taking and denying your opponent's score. Whereas if you start, I mean, I don't know if you go to events or whatnot, like, but every event I've played at, like, the missions have been amazing because only one or two of them are about holding objectives.
Yeah.
I mean, I played event in Sheffield. Oh God, I can't think who ran it now. But one of the missions was just insane. It was like you had to hold these objectives, but the objectives were like these demon things you had to
Yeah.
fight, and they kept throwing out stuff each turn. So, like,
Yeah.
the objectives did more damage to our opponents than
Yeah.
than
Than you guys did.
than we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't feel. I mean, I guess you could feel bad, but go if you go into it knowing that this mission is fucking mental,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
all eyes
Anything can
open.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
away that kind of okay, you killed me with this because it's a better unit, blah 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 blah. So I think looking at the missions you're playing is
Yeah.
a big factor to having fun games. To be honest,
Yeah.
yeah,
Broader balance lists. Not always choosing the most efficient option. Rather than taking a conversion beamer, why don't you just say, you know what, I'm going to take my flamer with a Hellstorm cannon, or I'm going to
yeah,
take
yeah, yeah.
a predator cannon rather than
And
something.
sometimes they surprise you. My
Man,
last
yeah.
cannon contemptor with a fist and
Mm.
melter gun built in one-shotted a Leviathan.
Oh, mate. Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
like
That. Yeah.
sometimes, and
Yeah.
it's even more fun because you're like, fuck. I can't remember who I
Yeah.
was playing, but even they were like, holy fuck, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, the one I really want to try, that you don't see at all now, is a dual wielding um melter Gravis melter contemptor, which you saw all the time in the previous edition, but
Yes,
now
yeah,
because they're
yeah,
only
yeah,
one
yeah,
shot. But like
yeah,
they have the potential to be so
yeah,
fun
yeah,
and
yeah,
so good
yeah.
and be like, right, Spartan, you're going down. Because each one does like each shot, I think, does like 8 damage if they're within 12 inches. They're pretty fruity,
Right,
but like the
okay,
problem is it's just they're not massively reliable because you've got to hit and
yeah.
then you've got to pen. But
But
yeah,
when they
so
do,
yeah,
it's more fun.
yeah,
Like, that's the thing,
exactly,
isn't it?
exactly.
There'll be shit for 6 games, and you'll have that one game where you're like,
Yeah,
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 fuck you.
exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Same with disintegrators. For six games you'll blow your own guy up, but then sometimes they'll take a Leviathan down in one turn.
But mostly they'll just kill
Kill
themselves.
themselves, yeah.
So, Darren asks, is there any way to make javelins great
Ah,
again?
Darren, I don't think so.
Perhaps a loadout or niche battlefield role that I haven't thought of. I've tried them several times and they are beyond
Yeah.
underwhelming.
So these guys, they've got a double whammy really, which is that number one is that the introduction of like heavy FP or the heavy X rule that's hurt them because javelins always want to be moving. That's the whole point of them. And if you're moving, you're not getting heavy firepower or whatever. So or heavy damage, particularly is the case with these guys. So that is something that 100% they struggle with. And then the introduction of the damage mechanism to the game, D3, D2 instead of kind of instant death, because it was the toughness 6, toughness 5, which always protected them from las cannons or anything that
Yeah.
strength 12, you needed to instant kill them
Yeah.
basically. So they were very, very survivable and they were very mobile as well. So those two things were in the Javelin's favour. The problem now is basically like an autocannon squad can just sneeze on them and like they will just disappear into the ether for all the time. You can't do
Yeah.
anything
Full
about squad
wounds.
because of the damage. So that's the issue. I think if you were to force my hand, because I don't think they're fit for purpose at the moment. If I was to rules writer, I'd say let's give them stable and see how that might affect like the situation. See if that would be good. Um, but if you were to force my hand, I think you need to go Daka. So I think you need to go Volkite and you need to go Heavy Bolter. I think those are two options. So side sponsors, Volkite and Heavy Bolters. If you're Imperial Fist, probably all Heavy Bolters. And also, you don't want to get close. I think you just want to be at range, really. Yeah, probably using them as gun platforms. Um, but then I suppose you could say to me, well, why wouldn't I just use a heavy support squad? As an option. But
Yeah,
yeah, the javelins look great. But yeah, I think that the problem is they're just not very survivable. So even though we've been chatting, oh, just take this thing to have a good time, like if your opponent just even looks at it, they disappear. That is no fun for no matter what kind of game you're trying to play. What's your thoughts, Lee?
yeah, agree. I would stick flamers on them, heavy flamers, and YOLO the fuck out of tax
Can they take
squads.
side sponsors and heavy flamers? Can they?
Yeah, you can replace the cyclone missile launcher with two heavy flamers.
Oh,
Like,
that's
and it's a
interesting.
shame it's two heavy flamers
Yeah,
and not just a twin heavy flamer, because then you'd get
yeah.
panic
Oh
two.
man, yeah, that'd be crazy.
And then that'd be even better. But yeah, just go panic one. That's what I would do. Or I would go the opposite and stick last cannons and try and keep them away from things. Just try and
Yeah.
outrange
I
stuff.
think the other problem is they lost their access to. Am I right in saying they lost the access to the multi
Yeah,
melter as well?
you can't
So that
replace the
that
heavy
I think
bolter.
that would have still been a good option.
Yeah,
And now it's kind of
don't
like
know
they're
why they did that. I
no. I
really
think I
don't.
think they're in a bizarre situation where you kind of want to be like, well, I want las cannon and melter, to at least like deep strike and try and get some rear end shots off. But now it's like, oh, here's the last two las cannons, which aren't that good when they're deep struck because they're only damage
No,
one.
no.
And then you're like, oh. I'm going to pepper you with my heavy bolter, which isn't going to do it. That is the problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Just before we move on to the next question, let's just quickly take a break here before we move on to May's question.
It's time to upgrade your battlefield with Sacrus Mundus terrain. Sacrus Mundus sculpt breathtakingly detailed and varied terrain that will bring your games of Horus Heresy to life. From the ruined cities of Armoria to the jungle vestiges of Lintrath, Sacrus Mundus design immersive battlefields for any type of tabletop wargaming experience you desire. Find their extensive terrain collections online right now.
Right, now that old man Meadows is back from nearly pissing himself.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Bathroom break, bathroom break. I should have gone. I should have
That
gone.
came on quickly. That was like, oh god, I'm going to piss myself.
Well, yeah, I got overwhelmed. Yeah, overwhelmed very quickly.
So yeah, sorry, Darren. The
Can't help,
javelins.
mate. Can't help.
Just wait
Even
for fourth.
even while I was on my phone thinking about javelins on the toilet there, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't even. I
I
couldn't
do
rest the
think
javelins.
like the biggest thing for me is the fact that they can't change the heavy bolter. I don't get it. It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
see if because my not that I've heard anything. If anything, I've heard the rumors have really dried up. But I reckon there will be a battle box where we'll get Mark IV, and within that battle box
ooh.
we will get 30 Mark IV Marines, two Javelin speeders, and then I don't know some kind of tank. I don't know, or maybe something with Mark
What's this
IV in
for?
it.
For fourth edition?
No, for third edition. I reckon we'll get a battle box by the
Oh,
end of the year.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I reckon
really?
so. Yeah,
That's fucking
and then we
bold.
might be
That
able
is a
to.
bold,
Yeah, that's what I'm going.
bold.
And then we might get more options of the javelins there. Like that's
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I hope they get something because, yeah, I think being able to change the heavy bolter out would make them a bit better. But I still, yeah, just run them. If you want to run them, run them. Just accept that they're going to get shot off the board.
Yeah.
May asks, when GW do fourth edition, if they choose to keep almost everything the same apart from three things, what would you change if it were your choice? Okay, it might be terrain, making dreadnoughts vehicles again now that vehicles have survivability, or maybe vehicles having toughness instead of armor value, changing deep strike to allow charges in some or all situations, maybe even something more radical, such as alternating turn order or change to D8s or D10s for more granularity on rolls. Interesting. I would love, like, could you imagine? I'm surprised GW don't change the dice for each edition
Edition.
and then sell a load of dice for each edition.
Monopoly on dice, yeah.
Yeah,
Every time it just increases. The number of
like
sides increases each time.
yeah. I would love to see it go to like D10, to be honest, just because.
Interesting.
Well, the difference between like a human and a space marine who's the equivalent of 100 humans is
Yeah.
strength toughness 3, strength toughness 4. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I guess the flip side of that is I don't want to buy a load of D10s.
No.
This is actually really interesting. Like, we discussed
This
this
also goes to the
very
heart of
very
what you
briefly.
value as well in the game, I think.
Yeah. I one of my biggest things, and it's not even like a rules in terms of changing the rules. My biggest thing would be just go back to writing rules how you did in first edition. Just stop with the lawyer speak. Like, we don't need 15 paragraphs to explain something. Like, just fucking stop. Like, I don't want to have to read a rule 15 times, get my fucking dictionary out to work out
So
what
what
you're
you
trying
want
to
the
tell me.
pros of the rules writing change rather than actually
Yeah,
any
yeah, yeah,
rules.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, just like, I don't remember this being a thing in first edition. Like, there were always rules that people interpreted differently because people will always
Interpret.
interpret something differently. Like, that's just people. But like, fuck me, when you read some of the rules and you're like, I've read this 5 times and I still don't know what you're trying to tell me. Just stop. Just stop. Just go back to normal English. And this reminds me, I did a course in South Africa. Oh, fucking 15 years ago. And the course was you had to do a test at the end, and the test was overseen by a British company. So to get the qualification, it was a British qualification. But the instructors on the course had permission from this company to reword the questions because they were like, you guys invented this language, but you never used this language because the
Yeah.
questions were fucking mental. Like, when they read the questions, it was all double negatives, and
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know what you're trying to ask me. And basically, they were having such a problem with non-native English speakers just not having a fucking clue what the question was asking, that they were actually allowed to reword. And they used to send a British, like, I don't know what you call them, like, to oversee the test, just to make sure that they weren't rewording it too easily. But it was purely that. It was like, just use fucking normal English. Like, why are you got all these double negatives? Like, it's insane. And I feel like third edition it's very much like that. Like, you read a rule and you're just like, man, what the fuck are they trying to tell me here? Like, I just don't know. So that would be my first choice, and I quite like what they did, and they've done it a little bit here. Like, in 40k, I think it's 10th edition, I've got the book. Like, you get like 3 or 4 bullet points of what it is, and then it goes into detail. And they've kind of done that a little bit with us, but for 40k they did it for every rule. So you read like moving, how to move,
Yeah.
and it will literally be like move from A to B, measure from this bit of this base to this bit, and then it goes into the detail. So that would be mine. Not even a rules change, just fucking write the rules so that people can actually read it and fully understand it. That would be my first kind of point.
I suppose, yeah, that's an interesting one. I think all I'd say on that one is, again, if a representative from the studio team were here, they'd probably say we have to use this kind of language
You don't.
because
You
in
don't.
order to deal with any ambiguity within they feel. I'm not saying I disagree
Yeah,
or
yeah,
agree.
okay, yeah,
They
yeah,
will
yeah.
say, look, we have to use this very precise kind of language in a very step-by-step way in order to deal, because then otherwise we get inundated with questions. What I would say, as I guess a counter, Does the rule just need, or whatever you're trying to introduce into the game, need a complete and utter overhaul, or just get rid of it? If it's so complicated that you need that kind of language to explain it, like, is
Yeah.
it like,
Yeah.
or is there some kind of simpler mechanic that you could introduce into the rules that you could kind of go, that's easier to explain? So I think
Yeah. Yeah.
that's interesting. Anyway,
But
what are
that's
your
not
other two?
actually a rules change. That's just me
No, well,
moaning
you've used one of
about.
your three now. What's your next two?
Fucking hell. Oh God. Well, I'm going to steal the one that you said because it's one that I agree
Right.
with.
Go on. What was it?
Am I not allowed to steal?
No, you can do it. No.
Okay, uh, I would say, and we've talked about this previously. So you're going to say rights of war. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think they need to reintroduce rights of war, but I think introduce detachments that change how a unit is used.
Yeah.
So they've done that with vehicles by introducing the whatever it's called, armored domination rule.
Yep.
Obviously, that only works if the mission allows that.
Yeah.
So it's not a kind of main rule within the rules. But yeah, I would just love to see like a detachment that you can take Terminators and they get line one. They lose Vanguard and gain line one. You know, a detachment that you take assault squads and they lose Vanguard and gain line two. Like, just for me, that like assault squads are just Vanguard and assault squads. To me, assault squads are the squads that move forward to hold an objective. They move fast forward to assault an objective to hold that objective. Like, they're not your elite murderers that are taking out, a HQ unit or something like that.
Yeah.
But they just can't be used like that in the game because of Vanguard. Like, it just defeats the purpose of. Why would you take a assault squad other than you already have them or you think they're cool?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just think you could completely, all these things we've been talking about with list writing, I feel like you would completely get rid of all of that if you had detachments that just changed the way units run. Just get rid of Vanguard and gain line, or vice versa, whatever. Like, it doesn't just have to be line, but yeah, I would fucking love to see something like that, like a Vanguard that gives Outriders line. Like, I'm trying to think of something that isn't line.
Yeah.
But,
So,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
No, I know what you mean. I mean,
like a detachment that gives a buff and you can do a buff and a negative. It doesn't just have to be
Yeah.
buffs. Go back to first edition Right Wars where you had a bonus and you had a negative.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think there's a couple of things on that one. So you've echoed the point that I probably would have made, which is about either detachments or rights of war changing the makeups or roles of armies. Actually, really, the problem really goes down to when they release the rule book, there also needs to be a compendium of missions, which is like 10 missions, and they're all slightly different. The problem, I think, really we get into about our obsession with scoring and line is because the missions aren't varied, because objective based missions are so integral to the official Games Workshop books. Like, there aren't that many kill point missions, but if there was a small compendium released of missions in a Journal Tactica day one where it's launched and it's got like 10 to 20 missions in, some are kill points, some are sector control, some have and because they're varied, people would get less hung up on kind of like the scoring being an issue. So I think that might be a change for me, which is I'd like to see more varied missions moving forward. I'd like to see challenges gone in the current format. It's not because I don't like them, it's because they're just all quite samey. And I think, let's be honest, unless you have got a very specific Legion gambit, like the Imperial Fist one, which gives you Eternal Warrior 1, really you're just flip-flopping between Seize the Initiative and Fatal Blow.
Yeah, agreed.
And like, there are some that I've never touched before just because they're just not that good. So, and I think for me, gambits just basically are just all quite samey. Sorry, challenges are all quite samey. and I basically always revert to the same gambits over and over again. And
I
also, it just comes down to the dice roll. But who's
I
lucky
like
and
the
who's not?
idea of them, but I yeah, I like the idea of them, but it's funny because the last few games I played, we just didn't bother because it was just like,
Yeah,
oh, I can't be bothered. Let's just do the combat.
yeah, yeah,
Although we did do one combat right at the end where we had our warlords face off against each other. I think things like that are quite fun.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then
Like your warlords,
yeah,
yeah.
and then
But
yeah,
just one thing. So, like coming back to what I was talking about detachments. So you could have, you could have like a detachment that allows you to take 3 assault squads. These
yeah,
assault squads can all deep strike in the first turn. It doesn't that trying
yeah,
to get
yeah,
away from the line.
yeah,
Like I just feel like you could introduce other things. You can
yeah,
take 3 drop pods, and
yeah.
those drop pods can all arrive turn
First time,
one.
yeah,
Like I just feel like it would just mix up.
yeah.
Like I was trying to think of stuff that wasn't
No, no,
just
no.
like
That's a fair thing because at the moment I think the game is quite formulaic actually,
yeah.
and it's quite samey. I can't remember if I made this point to you on our previous show. I think it was on our previous show. Basically, we have enough detachments for everything. Like
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah,
not a
yeah.
list that you can't take in this
No,
game at this
no,
moment in time.
yeah.
But the issue is I think we talked about it on the Journal Tactica, and actually the issue is about how those lists work and the variations within those lists. Because at this moment in time, there's a propensity to just go lots of line and lots of heavy duty shooting, whereas that inventive kind of list creation, which as you say, drop pod lists or what we used to have with Blood Angels, like
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
a nightmare
yeah.
to deal with, but at least it was a bit different in comparison
Yeah,
to what we get
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah.
And making those kind of like workable, I think, would be important as well.
And
Terrain doesn't bother me too much.
I would
So
like terrain cleared up.
right, it's
Yeah.
not so terrain is clear. It is really clear,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, see,
It's that is not the issue. Terrain is like over 3 inches. You can't see through it. That's fine. That is not like it is. There are obviously things within the rules, but if you just stick with Games Workshop rules, like I can understand why they've uh, implemented that as well. It's just everyone's experiences is different. But I think from a game point of view,
yeah.
like what worries me is just like the timely facts that we get when there's the community's crying out for it. But like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Those are some of the things that I would change. Right, let's move on
So
to our next one.
I agree with the train, but so we play it as all kind of area terrain, don't we? But then
Yeah,
you've got terrain pieces which block
yeah,
line of sight. You've got area terrain which grants cover saves. You
yeah,
got like I just feel like I saw the rules they released for the 11th edition terrain, and I was like, in one paragraph, you've made it quite clear how all that terrain works,
yeah,
and I like the idea of it. It's -1 to hit, blah 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 blah. Whereas ours is like 3 or 4 pages, and I don't know. I just feel like it could be. I think this comes back to my first point that it could just be written better. Like
yeah, clear and simpler. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
I don't hate the train rules. I just wish people would use the train rules. But I've only
I
had
mean,
two
it's
choices.
embarrassing.
I've
It
only
is
had
embarrassing to have a game system
where
where
everyone is running the train differently.
and where you
Like,
go to an event and you're doing
insane.
it in 4 different ways like that
Yeah,
that is not a
yeah.
good metric of how the terrain
No,
works in the system that I
no.
think like if that is the case and it's not just about a game if you that's the same in any walk of life if people are having to have conversations about something and every conversation is slightly different and slightly varied your thing is not really working that well and it
No.
probably needs
Yeah, it
it
needs.
needs a timely it needs to be dealt with in a timely way. I think but I can live with that. There are more pressing things I think, like rights of war and detachments, that I'd rather get sorted
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah,
terrain.
yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. Yeah. There was another point I was going to make because you were talking. We've kind of flip flop. We get excited and start going down rabbit holes. Um, I mean, we were talking about the different detachments and whatnot. I mean, we always talk about Legion, but I think
Yeah, yeah,
Mechanicum are in an even worse
yeah,
position. I feel like they've lost a lot of their flavor, and the only way to get any of that flavor is by taking an Apex detachment.
yeah,
Like, if you want your reductor force to be anything like a reductor force, you have to take a Thalax Command Cohort Apex detachment.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go back to first edition, it was literally you chose from the reductor list. You had free
List.
lists. You had
Yeah.
Tagmata, you had
Yeah.
Cybernetica, and you had Reductor. And the theme came from
Yeah.
all the
From
rights of
from
wars and the
yeah.
rules
Yeah.
built into that list.
I mean, they even
And
had their own force organization charts,
they
didn't
had their own force org. You had extra, I think you had an extra
they?
heavy
Heavy support,
support
I think.
slot.
Yeah. And
So you had four heavy support
fortifications.
slots. Like, and it really felt like, yeah, I'm leaning into this reductor force. Whereas now it just kind of feels like I'm taking a bit of this, a bit of that.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, so if you had detachment, you could have like reductor detachment and put rules into that. It doesn't have to be an apex detachment. Then your allied detachment can now feel like
Yeah.
a reductor detachment. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot they could do with it, but they're just not, if that makes sense. Because I don't think feel like these are major drastic changes. It's
No.
just do a
But they're not
detachment
stopping me from
and add
playing the
some
game.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're stifling some creativity, I think.
But let us know your thoughts and feelings because I think this will be a big one. I feel like a lot of people will be screaming at their monitors or TV screens right now. Terrain fucking sucks.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. It's
But
not.
just tell us why.
But there are
Tell us
more.
what
I
you
suppose for
changed.
me, it's not like I don't disagree that there aren't terrain issues. It's just that on my list of things that I'd like addressed within the
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
terrain was
yeah,
somewhere near the bottom, not near the top. I
yeah,
think that the
yeah,
creativity within list design is much more pressing
yeah,
than terrain.
yeah. Agreed. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. I am interested to see uh, yeah, what people would change. Like, I think, I mean, we're talking about the negative things, but like, I think vehicles are in a really good place now.
Yep, survivable.
Like,
They put out a lot of damage. Yep.
yeah, because for years it was like, here's my Spartan. Oh,
Yeah.
there goes my Spartan. I'll
Yeah.
take that off. Like
Vehicles are in a really good
that
place. Yeah.
did nothing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's not fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think vehicles are in a really good place. Yeah, it's just yeah, I'll be interested to see what people would like changed. I mean, we're talking about fourth edition, like fucking hell, come on.
Yeah. Right.
We've got a
What's
couple of
next?
years.
We've got even more stuff to
That's
go through.
it.
Oh
That's
no.
it. That's the
Okay. Perfect.
question.
Well, we've got the
That's
list
the
now, haven't we?
question. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So our first list is from Matt, who submitted a 3,000 point Iron Hands list. About 90% of this is already built, so I'm not keen on changing equipment beyond some magnetized Predator guns, but happy for any advice on swapping out some squads or tanks for new units.
Mm.
The list uses one auxiliary detachment each of tac support, armored support, combat pioneer, and spearhead phalanx. So we have a Praetor with a Paragon blade and a boarding shield, a
Mm.
Centurion with a Grav pistol, Power Fist, Cyber Familiar, a Master of Descent with Power Sword and Grav pistol, and a Warmonger with Power Sword. We've got a 10-man tactical squad, 10-man tactical squad with Nuncio Vox, 10-man assault squad. Sergeant has dual claws, 4 chain axe, 2 power axe, 3 heavy chain axe, a 20-man despoiler squad. Fuck yeah. Sergeant with Thunderhammer, 4 heavy chain axes, 2 hand flamer Vexilla, Nuncio Vox, and then we have a Rhino with a heavy bolter. In the next detachment, we have 10 Inducti with Phosphex bombs and Nuncio Vox, 5 heavy support with heavy bolters. Crazy. 5 tactical support squad with Sergeant with Power Fist and Grav Shredders. And then the next attachment, we have an Arquiter with a Grav Charge Cannon, Las Cannons, Armators Necrotechnica. I'm guessing that's
It's
a
a
Iron
online thing. I'll
Hands
double
thing.
check it. I was looking at this the other day, but I'll double check it.
We've got 2 Predators, one with a Flamestore Cannon, one with a Graviton Cannon. One has Heavy Bolter Sponsons, the other Las Cannon Sponsons, Havoc Launcher, and Armatus Necrotechnica. And then we have a Vindicator of Demolisher Cannon, Armatus Necrotechnica. And then we have a Land Raider Explorator with twin heavy flamer and 5 recon dudes with Nemesis bolters. We have a Sakaran, again with Armatus Necrotechnica, and 5 Gorgon Terminators with 4 with combi disintegrators. So the plan is for the Praetor to walk up the board with the despoilers. Master of Descent comes in turn 1 with the assault squad, kept alive to bring the Warmonger in next turn with the Grav Shredders, wherever the pinning is needed most. Not decided who the Centurion will go with, but likely the attack squad with no Vox. The Inducti and the Rhino to pop out a spicy Phosphex bomb, and Gorgons and the Land Raider, just like the aesthetic of Disintegrators with the Gorgons. I think it might work out okay with 2+ and there feel no pain.
Yep.
I mean, like, as you discovered playing Iron Hands the other day, anything Iron Hands is going to do all right because of their fucking innate
Heresy
rule.
on easy mode is what I'd say. Like, I was amazed by how survivable I was. Like using that Iron Hands list for the first time. I was just like, man, alive! No wonder James and Will like this Legion so much. Like, basically, he just can't be killed. This is easy peasy.
I mean, I like this list. It's got a bit of everything. I guess.
Yeah, it's a good, broad and balanced list, I think.
Yeah, like large despoiler squads. Large squads I tend to stay away from just because I find they become a bit unwieldy. Like I'd rather run 15-man squads, but I find like half your squad is just at the back not doing a lot. What's the one where the despoilers can pop up out of the prime?
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
I can't think what it's called off the top of my
I know
head.
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I would be interested in giving that a go with,
Intercession card tray.
especially with Iron Hands, because if you don't quite pull it off, then you've still got the durability of the -1 incoming. Any thoughts on this? What does Armatus Necrotechnica
It is
do?
so cool. So basically, it gives your model the auto repair 5+ special rule, but that's not the
Okay.
coolest bit, right? So
Yeah.
he hasn't put it because I was like, okay, well, it's not on the Land Raider, but I assume that has a 4+, because the Land Raiders tend to have a 4+,
Yeah.
but it's on all the other ones. I
Yeah.
think all tanks come with a 6+, just flat
Yes,
6+,
innate
right?
6+. Yeah.
Right, but get this. This is the coolest bit. So essentially, if any models were removed as casualties from a unit that has any models within 6 inches of the model with the Armatus Necrotechnica. So basically,
Yeah.
if any model you lose any models within 6 of it going down
Yeah.
during the same turn as the repair roll is made for that model, the controlling player can add 1 to the result of the repair roll.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really good.
So it feeds off people dying around there.
That's literally it. Now, what I don't know
Is it only friendly units or is it any unit?
it says if any models removed as casualties. So it's gonna. Yeah, that's interesting actually. From a unit that has any models within 6 inches of them. Doesn't say if it's friendly or
No.
not.
So yeah, just
And as a repair roll.
anything.
It doesn't say though. It's +1 for every single one that goes down. It just says if you lose any models, you just gain +1
Right.
to that roll. So it's probably
It's
like a 4
almost
up rather
like
than be like
they
a 2
haven't
up.
written it very clearly.
No, I think yes. Maybe it's been
point.
fact. Maybe Iron Hands players are kind of like shouting at me, being like, "No, no, no! It's 1 for every one up to 2+." But it seems to me that basically, like,
Yeah, okay, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Although
good.
it does mean you kind of, well, I like the idea of a flamestorm cannon predator just piling into dickheads, burning shit, and then feeding off it.
Yeah, there's something
dead.
quite fun about that. But I think this is just a great list, an all-round list. It does a little bit of
Yeah, it's got a
everything.
bit of everything, hasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah, yeah.
it's good 3rd edition list. This is good.
Is there anything you would change?
No, there's nothing I would change. You now need
I like
what
it.
you need is battlefield data on this list.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Yeah, no, I like it.
Like it, well
Like
done.
it
Good
a
list.
lot.
Yeah.
So Luke has submitted a 2,000-point list themed around the
Speaking of destroyers.
Marines 22nd Nemesis chapter. It's meant to be a fluffier narrative list of everything painted in destroyer colors, but I'm struggling to think how to expand it out to 3,000 points. Well, let's have a look. So we got Crusade Primary Detachment with a Master of Signals, and he has the logistical benefit. Prime Moritat with Plasma, Moritat with Volkite, 10 Tac Squad with Vox, Rhino, 2 Rhinos, and then the logistical benefit brings a Leviathan Dreadnought with 2 Graviton Cannon, 2 Flamers, and a Phosphex Launcher. We've got a Tactical Support Detachment, which basically has 2 squads of 2 rapier batteries with graviton cannon, a shock assault detachment with 2 10-man destroyer assault squads, 2 destroyer, so 2 rad missile launchers, phosphex bombs, and 8 dual Volkite. Oof. Shock assault detachment again with 2 10-man Nemesis destroyer squads with Vox and 2 of the destroyer missile, the rad missile launchers. So he's written, the 2 Moritats will each run with one of the squads of assault destroyers. They could deploy via deep strike. The 2 units of Nemesis destroyers will go up the board in the Rhinos to grab points. Master of Signals will sit with the tactical squad on a home objective and give out line vanguard as needed. It's a bit light on proper anti-tank, but I wanted to stay on the destroyer theme, so the grav weapons are in there and we'll try and shock pinned tanks. Leviathan is also there because Phosphex. Yeah, I like it. I mean, the best way to deal with tanks if you can't blow them up is to fucking stop them doing anything. Personally, I would go hand flamers, not dual Volkites on the assault squads, just because I think it's cool. And you've got the rad missile launcher in there, so you're dropping them down to toughness 3 anyways. If you're attacking tank squads. I don't know a lot about the Nemesis Destroyer squads.
They're
You're an
pretty good.
Ultramarines
Yeah, they're
player.
pretty good. They have from memory they used to have bolters that caused status. That
Okay,
yeah, that like Harrow
interesting,
bolters. Yeah, they're pretty good.
interesting.
They're pretty good. They come in 10-man
S-
squads as well.
so the only thing, and I'm not entirely sure about this, is Moritats, and this is such a fucking stupid thing. I do not believe they can join assault destroyer squads or destroyer squads in general, because destroyer squads have bitter duty, and I'm fairly sure Moritats don't have bitter duty unless it's been fact or I've misread it. And you have to have bitter duty to run with a bitter duty unit. That being said, if you were playing against me, I would 100% allow you to attach a Moritat to a assault destroyer squad because it's fucking stupid. I could be wrong on that. Someone in the know, write in the messages and let me know whether I'm right or wrong on that, or whether it's been fact. But I seem to remember that Moritats can't actually join assault destroyers, which is just fucking dumb.
Mm.
So how would you expand this list? What are we thinking?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things you could do because I think the 22nd Nemesis chapter there are 1 or 2 kind of like books or chapters that kind of like talk about them,
Yeah, I
and they're
think they
always
first appeared in the Black Books, didn't
yeah,
they?
and
Yeah.
they're always a cool thing for kind of Ultramarines players to hinge their list around, and I think you got the basis of what is a really really cool list. I think so. There's two things I would say. So the first thing is how wedded to you are tacticals and how far do you want to go? Like, are the tacticals there for line, or do you want to do something like make them flame like a flaming squad instead? I do think about
Oh, yes.
like destroyers. I often think about flame and rad. It's not just
Yeah,
necessarily that. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like radiation and stuff like that. Like I think like flaming stuff to Kingdom Come is also quite a cool thing. But also you've got the Volkite in there, so that also you could kind of be like, okay, well, actually Volkite and rad is my theme. So actually having an all Volkite Kratos might be a cool option in there
Mm,
as well. So you could kind of lean into like ranged Volkite
yes.
tanks. As for, I think that as you go to 3K, so I think that's the first thing. So I think that like if you're just going to theme it, just continue going down the anti-infantry theme. Predator, flamestorm cannons or
See,
whatever. That
I
kind of
I
like
would yeah, I would theme it. I would do a flamer
yeah,
squad, and I would change the dual Volkite to hand
yeah,
flamers, and
yeah,
I
and
would go down the
yeah,
flame.
yeah. So like there's lots of possibilities that you can
Yeah,
play
that'd
with
be
there, and
so
I think
cool.
just but I think that whatever if you went down that route, you are going to be kind of really going anti-infantry with
Mm,
this list. I think if you wanted to go and kind of go right, the last 1,000 points, I need to add some anti-tank into this list.
yeah.
I think first thing I would do is probably add a Praetor Rim to give you an extra reaction, and then I would make him unlock the like the Commander Cadre, the one that gives you 2 more. two more command slots, so in the
Okay,
Apex back
okay.
attachment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then I would put a Forge Lord in one of those slots.
Ooh,
And the reason why I do that is to unlock some Thalax units, some squads of Thalax. Because I also think like
uh,
Thalax is quite a cool way, because you've already got a mobile list in terms of the fact that you've got two Destroyer Assault squads. Um, you like adding Thalax in would kind of keep to that mobility theme. I quite like the idea of like the 20-second Nemesis chapter working alongside like Mechanicum
like
style Thalax
reductor
because
forces. Yeah,
and
yeah,
reductor forces because they're all about like death and destruction, and
yeah.
they're like that, you know, they would be the first like Thalax probably would be the first into the breach, like an irradiated breach. So all they need
Stun.
to protect is their
Yeah,
brains in a jar,
yeah.
and like everything else is just like metal. So I think like if you wanted to do kind of introduce more um anti-tank into it, I'd probably go down that route. And you could arm them with whatever you want. It could be phase plasma fusils, but the point of taking you could still stick to the lightning guns, but they cause some status, I think,
Yeah,
suppressed,
yeah, yeah,
but really you're taking them for mass melter bombs because I think
yeah.
that it would be on brand, on theme. It would meet your MO, and also it would deal with the anti-tank kind of theme. And if you wanted four squads of Thalax, just take a second Forged Lord, and that's going to unlock another two kind of like two squads of
Interesting,
Thalax from that
interesting.
list. And I think that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like that's yeah, just murder robots
Murder
and
robots with murder dudes, right? That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. But I would check into the Moritat. Like I say, I could be wrong
Yeah.
about that, but I'm fairly certain.
Seems like such
So
an such an obvious oversight that should have
it's
been dealt
just
with a
so
fact on day
stupid,
one.
isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, double check. I think this is our final list. So this is from I don't know if that's a spelling mistake or
No, I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah.
CESWYCHE has submitted a 3,000 point list for the Nova Open event. So I don't know the Nova Open. I don't know if this is a tournament or what this is. But we have a Praetor with jump pack heads. So this is a Night Lords list. We have a Praetor with jump pack, headsman's axe, and combat shield. Centurion with jump pack, thunderhammer, and combat shield. And he has the Paragon Prime. Librarian in Tartarus, Force Axe, Telepathy. We have three 11-man tactical squads with Nuncio Voxers. And the first one opens up the Logistical Benefit Prime, which has taken a heavy transport. We then have three Rhinos with Havoc launchers. And the logistical benefit opens up a Land Raider with a heavy flamer. So immediately, this is screaming third edition, like like three tax squads,
No judgment,
Nuncio
because
Vox.
talk
No,
to
no,
we'll
no,
come
no,
to the
no, no.
Legion in a second, but yeah, yeah.
And then rhinos, three rhinos with Havoc launchers. Then we have the next attachment is tactical support. So we've got two squads, two sets of two rapiers with laser destroyer. So four laser destroyers there. And then armored support, we have Sakaran Punishers, two Sakaran Punishers with last cannons. We have an Army Vanguard detachment with five Contica, which have two Heavy Flamers, three Volkai Cavitator,
Yeah.
Eschaton Powerclaw, and the Master Sergeant Prime. And then the Terror Assault detachment, the final detachment, we have two 6-man Terror squads with rotor cannons and two 7-man Night Raptors with four dual Lightning Claws and three Thunder Hammers. And this was 3,000 points.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I didn't say that negatively, but this is kind of the ultimate third edition
Yeah, list.
list, isn't it?
Yeah.
Three tac squads in rhinos with havoc launchers. You've got your anti-tank with the rapiers. I love the Scar and Punisher, like the
Hmm.
two Scar and Punishers. I don't know a lot about the Conticars.
They're just like they're I think they've got deep strike. They come in, they've got
Okay,
underslung bulkites. They're good at just mincing tactical marines, basically.
okay. And then we've got obviously terror squads with rotor cannons putting out statuses,
Yep.
and then the Night Raptors, I'm guessing, are just going to be running around murdering anything that's scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like a very efficient, very good list. What are your thoughts, Rob?
Yeah, really lean. I don't know how it's 3,000 points. Yeah, okay. So I think it's interesting we talked about oppressive because this is if I played this, you'd be like, man, I'm going to struggle against this because lots of my army is going to be status. In
Yeah,
fairness to Night Lords players, it's the way that they get their rule. So I think that your Night Lords players are always going to be heavy on their status causing weapons because that's how their Legion rule kicks in. So I think it's just par for the course really. Um, but yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's good. I think it has a little bit of everything. Yeah, a
yeah,
bit of anti-tank. It's really kind of designed around anti-infantry, though. Yeah, it might struggle if those laser rapiers go down first turn.
yeah. I was
And
going to say you're
yeah,
putting a lot of your, well, all of your anti-tank into 2 units of rapiers. Which,
mm,
if you get a heavy kind of terrain table or something, you're going to struggle potentially.
yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. But
So yeah, so I think
sometimes
that's
the
always
best option with tanks is just to ignore them completely.
that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly. And you can't. Yeah, it's yeah. I agree with that 100%. So yeah, I like this list a lot. I suspect it will do well.
mm.
And the combat shields are interesting, but
I was
I'm
going to
assuming
say
that's
it's
actually is
for
to give them the
challenges, isn't it?
plus one
Yeah,
to the roll on the challenges. So yeah,
yeah. So
I
they're
don't
going to be
think
taking the
I'm
challenges.
interested to know what Headman's Axe does. I assume it's not like as good as a Paragon blade,
Yeah,
but
shall we have a see
it's
if
interesting. It's just
I
like
can
not a
find
Thunderhammer, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that what that
Night
does.
Lords, Night Lords, Night Lords, Night Lords, Night Lords, Avatar.
I'd also be interested to see as well, like I mean the Night Raptors, what they've got over veteran assault squads, because you've got the Army Vanguard slots there to be able to take two elites instead. So are the Night Raptors ultimately better than a veteran assault squads? Would be the
Yeah,
thing that
having a
I'd be
very
looking at.
quick look at it, I would say yes.
Right.
So the Headsman's Axe is initiative -2, attacks, +2 strength, AP 2, damage 2, critical hit 6 plus.
Okay. Okay.
So that's pretty
So it's
good.
better strength over a Paragon Blade, but you're going at a slightly lower initiative.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But you have a combat shield, so you're
No,
increasing
yeah,
chances
but
depending.
in challenge, yeah, it
Yeah,
won't matter
yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're there for challenges, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the Night Raptor squad is let's have a look. Move 12, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill strength, toughness 4, 2 wounds each. So they're basically veterans.
Focus on it.
Initiative 4, 3 attacks each. Leadership cool 8, willpower, intelligence 7. They've got 3 plus save, but they've got impact initiative, fear 1, Vanguard 4,
Oh,
bulky 2, deep strike.
oh,
Um,
okay. So
150
Vanguard 4.
points for
Interesting.
5.
Okay, yeah,
But yeah, and they come with chainsword, bolt pistol.
yeah. How many attacks do they have each? 3 attacks.
3 attacks each.
Okay, so they're but slightly better Vanguard. And then what was it? Impact attacks or impact initiative?
Impact initiative and
Oof,
fear
okay.
1. Fear
I mean,
1 built in is
Fear
fucking
One is
great.
brilliant. Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably just. I mean, that's why you're taking them, really, is the initiative.
And then the Terror Squad have fear 1. Vanguard 2, hatred infantry. Oh fuck, hatred infantry.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So the rotor cannons are wound. Is it +1 to wound? I
I'd
think.
have to double check.
I'm pretty
I assume
sure
so.
hatred is +1 to wound against infantry.
Yeah, but even
Uh,
then, you only need to hit with the rotor
you only
cannons.
need to hit, but it makes rotor cannons way better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fuck. Now
From
I
a
want
five
to
to a
do Night
4.
Lords.
Night Lords, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I think we've
Yeah, I
determined this
like
list
it.
is a good list. Well done.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah,
Let us know
yeah,
how it gets
that's
on.
good. Yeah, let us know. Yeah. I think that is it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it for April's. So thank you for all the questions to our patrons. Some really good questions there.
really good. Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts and feelings on everything we kind of discussed for May. So please send in your emails, questions, army lists for discussion and review. Send them to heresyhammer30k@gmail.com. I imagine we will put a post up on the Patreon again asking for questions. Keep using the hashtag Heresy Hammer on Instagram. Keep posting on the Heresy Hammer WhatsApp community group. If you aren't on the WhatsApp community group, what the fuck are you doing? Go to our Instagram, do the link tree. Is that what the kids call it?
Yeah, link tree. That's right, Lee.
And
It is a
then,
link tree. Well done. Oh
then
my
there will
God.
be
Such
a
an old
link.
fuddy-duddy, aren't you?
There will be a link there for our WhatsApp group, which is, if you don't know what WhatsApp is
Although
is
lots of
something.
Americans actually don't. I go to
Oh,
America,
really?
like you can get me. Yeah, Americans aren't massive on WhatsApp.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah,
surprised
I
at
have to
that.
force my American clients to download WhatsApp to on
Oh,
their phone.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
fuck.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, God, I'm in so many fucking
Yeah, I know
WhatsApp
it's
groups.
crazy. The UK
Like,
and
so many.
States are different.
Like,
So different.
literally, at work alone, I'm in like 7 different WhatsApp groups just for work. Like, we've
Yeah.
got the ones that will get us sacked. We've got the ones that won't quite get us. Like, fucking hell. Remember to check out heresyhammer.com for events and to book gaming tables if you would like to come and play at Heresy Hammer HQ. But please do, if you've got events coming up, go check out the heresyhammer.com event section and fill out the form and we will put it up. And if you're looking at going to events, go check out the events calendar. We do a Patreon, as we have mentioned. We have 3 different tiers of membership, and our top tier are our Praetors. So a super duper special hug and kiss to all our Praetor tier members. Thank you so much for your support. I've just messaged all the people for May who will be receiving their NPC characters as a giveaway. But yep, super duper special hug and kiss to you guys and girls. But a big thank you to all our patrons because we couldn't do this without you. If you've got this far, please like and subscribe. If you want to listen on Spotify or podcast, you can. I can't be bothered going through the rest. I've already gone through it all. Thank you very much. Until the next one, see you later.